Can you believe it is Grace Attorney? Oh my god! It's back? It's back? It's been like a month, maybe plus. Guys.
I think it's been more than that.
Yeah, probably something more than that. Hi everybody, welcome.
Like 2 series since then.
Yeah, welcome back to Grace Attorney. We took a quick break so that we could play all of No More Heroes 3 and Metroid Dread, and I had a great time with both, and it was very fun. Yay.
Yay.
But welcome back.
And finish Metopia, right?
Oh yeah, that too.
Metopia.
We got a couple of things done.
Finishing 12.
Yeah. I can't believe it, actually. This is a fake stream, a shared hallucination. You're right.
This isn't real.
Which means
enjoy the hallucination together.
Which means we can do anything we want, like continue the story right now. Let's do it.
We want to talk about the brief. Hold on.
Yes.
We want to talk about the brief scare that we had.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. We might as well do that.
We should mention that too. Is there a cutscene playing right now, even though you're in the home menu?
Yeah, there's a cutscene playing. I mean, we're not going to talk over it.
Well, it means it might be playing even though we're here. So actually,
yeah, that's what I mean.
What? Why would it do that?
I don't think it would.
I don't think it would. It would not do that.
Most single-player games do not.
PlayStation loves to do that.
Well, PlayStation's different.
PlayStation's bad.
PlayStation, in that case, sounds to be
Nintendo's just built different.
Okay, so
in that one regard,
let me explain exactly why we were scared. So,
oh boy,
my usual computer setup is entirely borked right now. In fact, it's gotten a little worse since the last time I told my friends about it.
Oh, really?
Just a little bit, not in a major way, but in a little way. So, I was using my computer. I wasn't doing anything too big. I was playing a video game and watching a YouTube video, I think. I walked away for 20 minutes. I came back, and everything was not working. Everything. Nothing worked, except that the lights on front of the CPU were blinking, and that's all the info that I was able to get. So clearly it was receiving power, but who knows what else the issue is. So I took it over to Best Buy.
Specifically.
Yes?
Yeah, specifically the case lights, not even the CPU.
Exactly. So I took it over to Best Buy. They explained to me that they believe that there is either a problem with the power supply or the motherboard. One of those is worse than the other, and that they do not have the ability to fix that. And which means that I now need to get a hold of MSI, and MSI is kind of taking their time. I was really hoping that I could at least send my computer off before Thanksgiving break, but it's starting to look like maybe I'm not going to be able to do that. That's going to be a shame.
So we had to pull out the old computer.
Yeah.
Which is
working? We are now streaming.
The old computer.
We are now streaming off of my old laptop, which has not been used for streaming in I think a year and a half. So we're gonna see how well this works. We're gonna see if there are issues. I apologize. Right now, this is how I'm able to stream. Yes?
We should mention though as well, because we're on the old laptop and all that, we are the lower frame rate and resolution rate than we normally are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that it can be good for today. We might be up it later. We're gonna see how tonight goes with it.
Tonight's a test
stream.
stream.
Could you actually minimize your full screen for a second? Because there's one thing I noticed before we got into it. And can you talk again real quick?
Okay.
So if you turn down your volume just a little bit.
Okay. Yep. Good call.
Okay. Yeah, so you
that we're good.
Okay.
Oh.
Well,
yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. Now I'm gonna put it back on. Let's watch this cutscene. Do you want to skip this? I do not want to skip this. I do not. No, I do not.
Last time, a carriage burned.
Clouded Kokoro.
That means heart! I know that!
Kokoro means
It
heart.
can also mean mine.
Oh.
Said Shogun, turning his head languidly in my direction. That there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea.
Herbal.
Leading him
so that's what
to
he's
the
calling
distant
it now.
memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road.
Is this Jack the Ripper that we're getting
to
into?
the knife in her back.
Ooh.
That would
Lit
rip.
in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Insoluble. What a fancy word to call a mystery. Wow. Okay. Chat's telling me that video games are a little bit loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's loud for us too.
I want a little bit down as well.
Fun fact, Ripper is short for Rupert.
Okay, so Jay, what was that?
I want you down a little bit lower than that as well.
Lower than that?
Like
Damn.
Middle between, well, not that much, but once we get inside, you want the bar to be between 30 and 25.
Okay, 30 and 25. 30 and like down here. Okay, great.
Oh no! But
No,
when the audio
the actual
is
audio
playing,
bar.
so we can't even tell what the audio is because right now it's not making any sound.
Okay.
We
Good.
balanced it earlier because we had it on the title screen, but apparently the other audio was louder.
Well, I guess we'll see. Okay, it's February. I
Well, we
hate.
can't really see
February.
the audio from
Yeah,
here.
it might be good to progress without us being full screen.
Are you guys
Yeah.
gonna be able to read the text?
Monitor it. Yeah, just for a
Yes.
while. We should be all right.
Yeah, it's large enough to read.
You got that big fancy fonts.
Okay.
The
Here we go.
important thing is that it's February.
That's true.
Happy February.
What is it though?
I haven't done this voice in so long. Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo?
No, not at all.
It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms are so luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the light or gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day, even in the middle of the night.
What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Burya, I wasn't gonna waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other.
Mood.
Oh, yes. It was really the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except... when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare.
Oops, sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking.
In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year.
Oh my god.
I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill.
I really am sorry.
You fucked up.
Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though.
Is this the night after the last chapter, then?
Yes.
Okay, I see. Alright.
If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less.
That's how you pronounce it?
London.
No.
I don't know.
London.
It's stipend.
Stipend.
London is a scary place. Good morning to you at this early hour. You didn't forget about me, did you? Oh, yes, I did. Well, well.
Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday.
Suzato-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart. Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices. Oh, yes, it was very eye-opening. Thank you.
And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end.
Yes. I've already been apprised of events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. Oh! No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land. Nice.
Remote?
Thank you very much. So I'm a lawyer now. Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like for you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem. Another case? Already? Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I? It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it. What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for? Wander for now.
Alright. It has not at the present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
Jay. There you go.
Jay.
I was de-audio monitoring myself. Well, Lord Van Jackson, it's been a pleasure to attach. It's also been a very long time. As for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
I did not understand a lick of that.
It's all very good. It's very Irish, isn't it?
And then he died.
I love that laugh.
I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent.
Mr. Naruhodo.
It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended.
Ascertain, sir.
I don't care, whoever you are.
I just remembered Ghost Wilson.
Ghost Wilson.
Leave me alone, get him.
Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer. Sorry?
What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? He dead.
Magnus McGilded is super dead, dude. Immediately following the trial.
No!
What?
It took us a month and...
Mr. Yes?
It took us over a month to figure out that he was the one who died.
I mean, we figured it out. It was fine.
We pretty much thought so anyway. Sorry.
Mr. McGilded is... dead? Birds. I have those for effect, and 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk.
A clock king.
Alright. Clock king. Converse. Yeah, let's talk. McGilded's
I
death.
think the audio, I think we're good on audio, by the way, so we can probably
Yeah.
get the main display back up.
Good. Glad to hear it. Let's do it. Yep, there we go.
There is one note that I have, because I was listening to only on the stream on the audio,
Yeah.
and apparently Lunar's a little quiet.
Luna's a little quiet.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a reverse Lunar issue.
Lunar. I'm
No,
also
isn't
gonna.
that the common new lunar issue?
I'm also gonna turn Wander up.
They were usually
Okay.
loud.
Okay. Now we're all set. I don't understand what happened. How can he be dead?
There was a fire!
I think maybe we skipped
don't
that
know
part.
that.
I don't think we saw that. After the
We
trial.
weren't there for that.
After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom. Yes, of course, that was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilded had been accused of. Precisely. Well, while the bailiffs attended was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. No.
How could such a thing have happened?
That is being investigated as we speak, but already the police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of Mr. McGilded. That's awful! The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. That bailiff really needs
His hat could save him.
to pay more attention.
And how could that have happened?
That is also being investigated as we speak.
Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus.
Well, I must be making tracks now. Tis time for the inspection.
Sorry? What inspection?
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be presented for myself and be there for it.
As an inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage. But then who was Mr. McGilded talking about? Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
Poor Mr. McGilded. Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, dying in a fire is pretty nasty.
Yeah, but he was fucked
Yeah.
up. I didn't like him.
But did he deserve that, though?
He's not real. He's a fictional character.
Yeah, I guess.
But
So,
did he deserve that in the same story?
so how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court? Oh, I don't know. Delicious? I mean, it was wow! Yeah!
Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old.
Wow, Susato-san has such a way with words.
The court system, not the island.
Oh.
And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones.
I thought that. No! No, it's hereditary! No!
This is where it comes from.
The
They muffle their thoughts.
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all that you can. The most advanced in the world, is it? It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
I mean, it was only a day long. As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple.
The circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we've managed to get a favorable verdict. Is something funny?
Yes.
No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree? Well,
Thank you.
I don't know about that. Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much, at least, is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I've prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before. What's going on? What was he going to say before? Okay.
Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned?
Don't tell me it's a murder and the trial starts in 10 minutes.
Oh.
Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or urgent. No, or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different. Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? Yes, it's frequent.
Yeah.
That is to say, no one has died as yet. As yet? And the
Is it
trial...
like an injury?
The trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research this case thoroughly. Great. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise. So the trial's tomorrow, then.
Is everything all right?
Oh, yes. I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was... well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGilda's trial, but I'm gonna. Ah, yes, I nearly forgot.
There's another game after this.
There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense. Oh, if the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
The most terrible end awaits the defendant.
Yes, that's right. Here we go again.
Oh, shit.
Ah, shit.
Ah, shit, dude.
Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits. Last time he mentioned the 23 hours, he said that there was plenty of time. And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Talismans are not important. There is something I should like to ask you. Oh, what's that? Yesterday you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds. Oh, well, Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing.
Oh!
Another thing. Continue. On the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me. Wonder.
There's something very important that I have to do.
Something very important. And what exactly would that be? He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he had ever made it to Great Britain. You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion.
Mr. Naruhodo, what's all this about? Mr. Asogi never mentioned anything of the sort to me.
I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand. Oh! I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to apprise you of the details. How long has he been there? So, I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell.
Ah, yes. Minecraft Sholmes.
You are Lestrade. No, that's Lestrade.
Oh, okay.
There's something very important I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean?
I wish I knew. But honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think?
Yes, you're right.
I just hope I'm imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. What do you have?
That's fries.
A knife.
Let me see what you have.
Hello. Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room.
I believe yes, they're suits of armor.
Oh, right. I thought maybe they were like the lion dogs we have in Japan guarding shrine gates. Come on, you should know what a suit of armor is.
Not far off.
Well,
No,
they don't
not-
really have armor like this in Japan, do they?
I mean, they
Yeah,
have...
not
Not have any
really.
horns on top of their
There
head.
wouldn't be any reason for them to know what this is.
I mean, they have, like, I don't know, samurai
yeah, but
armor.
It's so
I think that's
different.
way
though.
It
different.
is
Yeah.
different. It's very different.
Maybe, like, their armor isn't necessarily made of metal, but, like, it still looks like that.
It's people shaped.
Yeah.
It's people-shaped.
But there's no hole, so it could look like a statue, like they said.
Yeah, I thought
Yes.
maybe it might have been like a statue.
Like an ornament.
What if a person sat in there and operated it?
Like a mecha?
Scary.
Wait, I gotta write this down. This is a great idea.
Grim just starts writing.
Mr. Naruhodo, what are you doing?
Susato, the world's first mecha story writer.
The world's first mangaka.
No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know.
No.
And they roam around in the middle of the night.
Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Miss Susato?
This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. If you're ever unsure, just ask.
Is that a fiction book? It might be a fiction book. Where did she get that incredible tome?
Yes!
Well,
It's magic.
it's magic. Just look at all the the naughty books packed together on these shelves. They go from floor to
Naughty.
ceiling. I don't think we should read
Naughty.
these books, Susato.
They're naughty.
And they're all books you could hope to come by in Japan. It's like a dream.
Yes, a very bad dream.
They're not all about British law either. There are books about judicial systems of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland?
What about Russia?
Why do you ask?
I was wondering about asking the Lord Chief Justice how you say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think?
It's garderobe.
I think Perhaps it's a thought best abandoned.
That's fair. Okay, how about... Oh, yep. Okay, I want to look at that. Is this some kind of clock?
Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. But those gears are larger than anything you'd find on a steam locomotive, even.
It's eerie. Do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean? This goes a little bit beyond hobbies, I think.
Just a little.
What if he is a clock?
Oh.
The clockwork lawyer.
Is he a mecha?
He's a mecha! I need to write this down. Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they?
I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size, and I'm not certain you could call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make, considering how large they are. There's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. I don't know, if you had that going constantly, I think maybe it would get to you after a while.
This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble.
Also, are we just in Big Ben? Is that what I'm supposed to assume?
Maybe.
Big Ben, the jury version.
Sure, okay.
Actually, Big Ben is the bell.
Oh my god. It looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me.
I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruhodo.
Feels like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home is made of bricks and stone here.
I know. That's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure.
Probably part of it. Oh, was that something? No, probably just that. Okay. Are we done here? Oh, wait, there's more? I can look at more? Hang on. How do I turn? This. Oh, okay.
The arrows? Yeah.
There is nothing here.
Nothing.
Why does that exist? Okay, fine.
Might be
Hold on.
important later.
Tell me about your fries, sir.
Actually, they're called crisps.
Oh my god, you're right.
No. No, those would be chips.
Damn it, you're right.
Could we trouble you? Who?
Wonders.
Oh, okay. What do you think?
Ah! Well, lovely weather, isn't it?
Oh, is he in London though?
What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent out of your hand, you know.
But Susanoo-san told me it was
This is
full-
England, it's raining.
Ah!
I'm a busy man, a very busy man. Here's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to.
This man could
How
solve
do you
world
do that
hunger.
to your fish?
Yeah, he could solve world hunger with this little
Oh, there is a
newspaper.
fish in there.
Wow, I thought it was just a really big potato.
Me too. Oh, I'm ever so sorry.
Fish and chips in a cone?
Yes.
Changes the
convenient.
game.
Can you imagine what the other officers there'll be saying? I haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? Nah, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who was here on a jaunt from a country I never even heard of. Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard going to tatters.
There's no need to rip us apart as well.
I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer.
It returns.
Hey.
That's his name.
Hey?
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant.
Eh?
It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? Okay.
Oh.
It is unseasonably fine, I grant you. Long winters don't see a lot of sunshine.
Unbelievable! How did she pull that off?
So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. Name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Why aren't you Lestrade?
Gregson! Inspector Gregson?
What's the matter with Susato-san? Gregson is another character from the home series? Oh, I guess I don't know it well enough then. Does this detective's name mean something to her? Gregson.
Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson?
Are there any others?
You're acting like you're acting like you know this man, Miss Susato, but he's a London detective.
How do I know him? Very well, in fact.
Very well.
Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, in that publication. What's it called again?
Don't you say that name in front of me.
Rants magazine? Yeah, he's not gonna like that name.
He knows what he did.
That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry.
Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes. That's incredible.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all of the Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words.
That's his highest praise?
Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
That he is not. And thanks to the magazine, my name is known all over London town now.
Well, that's great, isn't it?
I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof.
Well, that's wonderful. Bah.
No, it is not. There's nothing more sinister than a man on the street. People are always looking at me now. Yeah, whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure.
Rumors?
Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head, stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper. So I can't catch exactly what they're saying, but I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs.
That's pretty sure. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work.
Oh dear. Perhaps the sudden rise to fame does change people.
The case. So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before.
Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, couldn't be simpler.
Oh dear. That probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated.
I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right.
The young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in the hospital unconscious.
That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind?
I suppose you would have finished off, you would have finished whoever it was off with a Susano takedown, would you?
That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo.
Brace yourself, Ryunosuke, you've angered her now.
Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest.
So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit.
God, that thing he's eating looks so good to me right now.
Yeah, I want to eat that.
Tasty. Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question.
Let me stop it right there. You're wasting your time on this one.
Sorry?
There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help that bloke now.
Why ever not?
Simple. The prosecutor has been assigned to the trial tomorrow. It's Lord Baron Barack von Zeeks.
Yeah, but I beat him already.
We beat him before.
No!
Sounds like you heard of him then.
I mean, to be fair, the corrupt justice system beat him, but...
Oh yes, we are very familiar with the Lord Van Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself.
The Reaper of the Bailey. Let's talk about him. Lord Barack von Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday.
Mr. McGildas told us about him before the trial, didn't he?
Who's this?
Van Zeeks.
This is
No,
Van
no,
Zeeks?
no, not Van Zeeks. I meant, it is, what's his name?
McGilded. McGilded said this. Okay.
Yes.
When Van Dijk stands in the prosecution, they call the accused sacrificial lambs. And what you can never do is comment on any of its poses. The moment you comment upon one, you're dead. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned.
Susato, I think I made fun of his poses before. Uh-oh. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it?
Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty.
And what of it?
Oh, well, I think that means even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not possible to, or not impossible to save the defendant.
But then he died.
Yeah. No, you really don't have a clue, do you?
What do you mean?
She just sticks it in his pocket.
Yeah.
What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Magnus McGildy Magnus McGildy came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you?
I didn't do anything wrong. What are you saying?
Look, if Van Zeeks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles, he works magic. Black magic.
Okay, so last time we streamed this, we thought that Van Zeeks was the one that did the killing. But now that they're kind of pushing it on him, I wonder if that's the case.
No.
I'd have a good long think about that if I were you.
Are we really supposed to believe that?
I do like how they're just going like, what? Someone having like a flawless streak? That's impossible!
Sure.
Nom, nom, nom.
Right, well, I've filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips.
Are you?
You are?
So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. You're still carrying out a few investigations there.
It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place?
That's correct, ma'am. Now if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself.
You've branded him a criminal already?
He's as good as. Shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. Yeah, I'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way.
Inmate 53. Thank you. Okay. Whew. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say.
Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too.
But if the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny.
So...
If I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try. So I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help?
Do you really think you had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant.
Thank you. So then, shall we?
Yes. Let's go.
That's nice. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, just move. Let's get on out of here.
Yeah.
Briar Road or prison? Let's go to the prison. Let's meet the guy. Let's meet them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Who this?
Who this?
Oh, this is a little gloomy.
Still February. Cell 9. So, these are British prison cells.
Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon.
Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone ones.
Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse.
Apparently our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. That's Jay.
Can't.
In 1953, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop idling in the back of the cell and show your face at once.
Meekins?
Yes.
Am I a cat? As
That-
yet with
no,
no
this is
name?
Jay.
Well, how am I supposed to know?
Okay. Which?
Who knows?
It is. Hold on. It is the left one.
What?
Of the two I showed you yesterday.
Yes. I haven't really settled on. I don't know what this man is like. Oh no, he's angry. Okay.
Oh no, it's angry.
Oh no, he's angry. Call me by a number that's utterly unbelievably unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer.
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think is going on here?
I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Oh.
Oh.
Oh?
No?
You are Japanese? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Just quiet.
Oh.
They're all around, hiding. I know they are.
Are you Edgar Allan Poe? Is that the
I
reference?
think
Oh.
he might be.
Oh, they better not have done me like this. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it.
Right. So, could I...
You come to catch me, have you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost.
a ghost?
A ghost.
Like, this guy moves way too much for an Ace Attorney character.
We mean you no harm, Prisoner-san. Are you Japanese by any chance?
Oh. This is beyond my wildest dreams.
You're very happy? That's good.
Forgive that outburst from before. I am so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Oh.
Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my homeland, and I am here in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So, hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was lost. My Nancy, moving moments.
Wow.
Hell.
I think he was moving his arms in kanji or katakana.
Was he? Oh my god. Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese?
How should my fellow countrymen show to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student? Noble, nurturing, never find Nippon!
A first-class lawyer. Oh dear.
Some characters you sit up for. Boy, this is one of them.
Oh dear.
Oh, no.
I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here.
I forgot how animated this guy was.
I'm ready.
I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened?
Oh, Kwama, thank you for eating
Hey,
Eat
guys.
your hamburgers, Apollo!
Eat your hamburger.
Thank you, Bagel.
And we will.
Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example.
Yes, I can, I will! Shut, stay, sullen, and silent!
Okay, alright.
I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seemed happy.
Yes,
Thrown
he
up my
does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba.
I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Nobility, notoriety, name's Natsume! Sosuke Natsume.
A real-life person.
Yeah. A real-life
Really?
person. Who is this guy?
He's actually Natsume Sasuke, a real person.
Okay, who is he?
Considered one of the most influential Japanese writers of the 20th century.
Oh!
Who did
cool.
go to London.
Oh.
Huh.
I don't know
Did
why I
he
looked at this guy and I was...
actually
Okay.
Huh? Yes?
Yeah.
Did he actually get thrown in prison?
I don't think that part was real.
But one of his most famous works is I Am a Cat.
Oh. Okay, well, that's fun. I don't know why I looked at this character and I was like, you are a writer! I don't know what it was about them. Sosuke
Writers
Natsume.
just look like that.
Yeah, I guess. Sosuke Natsume-san. What an unusual name.
Oh, me, Sosuke, please. I'm a poet, you see, and a writer of haiku.
Why does every poet look like this in my mind?
It's a bow tie.
It's the bow
The
tie.
mustache
Yeah,
and the
might be
hair.
bow tie.
It's a lot.
It is something of a nom de plume.
A nom de
Oh
plume.
yeah.
You mean an alias?
As Gomez also says, one of his most famous books was Kokoro, hence the name of the chapter.
Ah, okay, cool.
That's right, Naruhodo-san.
No! Do not be so prosaic! I need more refined than that!
And haiku. That really reminds me of home.
Did I hear you say that you were were a visiting student sent here by the government?
Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this! It's beyond the pale!
Suffer that misery. Did you not want to study here?
No! I mean, I had interest in Great Britain for some years, of course.
Oh,
But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it. No.
hmm?
What do you mean?
If they told me to study English literature, that I would have understood. That is my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonable.
I see.
Yes. So, only the other day, I was told to send a report to my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words of white washi!
You must be a man of great standing.
Have you seen my poses? Oh, yes!
Yes, they're wonderful.
So I am often told.
I'm sure.
And often like to be told, it seems. The accusation.
Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san?
I didn't do it! I didn't commit an atrocious crime!
Murder?
I will bite these bars! No, it's all right. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes!
Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker?
I didn't see anyone.
What?
So, if I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here?
Oh, dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
Why me? Why me? Why did they so this woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London. It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritably inconvenient.
So, Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker.
It's vital that we find out more about the case.
Okay. Let's talk more about the case.
It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear with heavy fog. I'd been by the bookstop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings.
Sure the bookshop wasn't accursed too?
Would have been. As I was walking along the accursed pavement, I made out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, as in walking past her, she suddenly let a little scream and collapsed into the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet.
Oh dear.
How terrible!
I cannot hear
She
you.
didn't move. It was like ghostly, ghoulish, grave.
Was he, was this man in reality very jittery and kind of panicky, perhaps?
That I don't know, but I do know he hates his stay in London.
Well, I believe it. Sure, they've made that clear. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps.
I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
So I noticed that she's surrounded by books. Did you also come from the bookshop, miss?
Perhaps.
She's dead. Not quite dead.
That's not good.
Well, they'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that.
Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Ridiculous! Do you think I know of any of these fair-handed English? And a young woman at that? No! I am diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people!
Yeah, you sure seem shy.
I have no words!
I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you?
Possibly. Apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul.
No one. Oh, great.
So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the streets at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it?
Eh? What conundrum? More! What do you mean, Susanoo-san? What's the conundrum?
Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says he didn't know the victim, and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen.
I did!
So how was he accused? But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. Maybe the gun was fired at her? Or it was faked by her.
What did you say?
Nothing! I didn't say anything! Oops. Perhaps I thought that a little loudly.
Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Saseki-san actually come to be arrested?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Sorry?
He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place?
Oh, yes, she's right.
It was him. An accursed great detective. He'd led the police to me. Of all bad luck.
A cursed great detective? Could it be?
I shall never forgive that man's name for as long as I live.
Forgive his name.
No.
That too.
It kind of works.
With his hearty laugh and self-proclaimed greatness. Brass, big-headed busybody, be gone! May you be cursed the end of your days, Herlock Sholmes!
I knew it! Herlock, what are you doing?
This asshole.
Mr. Sholmes?
He also got us wrong. Didn't he accuse us? Isn't he
Yeah,
the reason that
he-
we ended up in cuffs?
He led the cops to us, but he never said it was us.
Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure.
Was the morning after the nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when someone suddenly burst through the door. They started shouting at me. Who yells at people? This is the police. Put your weapon down and cheese.
Weapon.
Yes, it was a thin sliver, and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting dietary discrimination doubles.
You clearly had a trying morning yesterday.
Let a man eat his cheese in peace.
And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Herlock Sholmes!
It's actually Herlock Sholmes. He's English.
I've since found out that he's a famous name in the detection here in London.
Yes, the great detective is actually very well known.
And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman! Me, this weak, stooped kitchen of a man!
I wonder what great deduction process led him to this conclusion this time.
Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable.
This will be easy.
The thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in, so
Oh, no.
I stabbed them with the cheese.
Oh no.
No. Of course they were. Of course you were. That's only natural.
I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Speak is foreign, thin, flabbery.
Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English.
Oh, no. Oh, good point, but my mind went blank. I knew I had an answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Oh, no.
The next thing I knew, I was in manacles. And before I knew it, I was thrown in here.
Oh, dear. I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine. He's not fine now.
I'm so fine.
I'm Natsume Saseki, and I'm fine!
Mr. Naruhodo Esquire!
Yes. Oh, you could just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple mister is more than enough.
Oh, yes, yes, they've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in the court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you?
Well,
Why? Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me?
well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour.
A student?
I have defended a case in the Old Bailey, only the one though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means.
Oh, Naruhodo-san.
I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose. What's locum?
What's locum?
What is locum? Sorry.
Like a locomotive.
Okay, I accept this.
Placeholder.
Gotcha.
But that armband! That's the mark of a defense lawyer of our great empire!
It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend.
Keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me.
Oh, what do you mean?
The lawyers, the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me!
Goodness! Why do you say that?
For the same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. Stabby cheese man.
It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san.
And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing at me before, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. The return of this man would be a waste of time, they say. And, of course the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say, that man doesn't understand half of what he's saying anyway.
That's awful.
I always get 2/3 of it! They're wrong! I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there in the streets! I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history! But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me! So, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it? Could you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through.
Soseki-san, it's just that...
You have the eyes of a wardrobe.
Give me a little time, please.
Hmm?
I'll do what I can, for the time being.
What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you, low-dumb student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire!
We should be going in then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
Alright then. Move.
So that's our
present.
client.
That's our client.
Nice.
You wanna look at my band?
Yes, the symbol of a great empire's first-rate lawyers! Which means, of course, you'll stand by my side! You'll defend me!
Oh, no, sorry, that wasn't why I was showing it to you.
Why are you telling me?
Jay, you're
His audio.
you're
The mic
getting
did not
so
wanna
loud
pick it
at
up.
some points that Discord silences you.
Yeah, a little bit. Especially when you first start speaking. Oh, Thank you.
Oh,
Thank,
Gomez.
thank you, Gomez. Appreciate that. Oops. In hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea. Whoops. Oh well. Let's move. We can go to Briar Road now.
Having fun with him?
Yes.
Yeah, he seems like he's fun.
I don't know how you can keep up that energy for that long.
That resonates with me. It's kind of like when you're in the shower and you have good acoustics. That's a good acoustic character.
Jesus.
Channels it right through.
So this is where it happened. Briar Road.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo.
Snowman!
Look at that snowman. It's so cute.
It's very cute.
And look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak.
That is their job, you know.
But, Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt I'd come this close. To a real Bobby's helmet.
The helmet is what you like so much? What? The helmet?
Of course. I have to try one on one day.
Well, I hope your Hattie dream comes true.
Me too.
You!
Nice.
What's the Japanese delegation doing here?
Oh, Inspector Gregson.
It isn't on the tourist trial, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Yes, of course. We're here to investigate.
So you've been what's good? They're holding cells then. What do you make of the criminal?
Tasty.
He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect.
See, I got this magic fish that really grows every time I bite into it.
Solve world hunger.
Yep. Well, solve my hunger anyway.
Okay.
Get your own. We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Well, do what you will. Doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens. And the verdict's a foregone conclusion.
Ugh, the stone cold air of rejection.
Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone cold air.
That makes it worse somehow. Well, let's talk, bud.
Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place.
The Yard. It's the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am. Mum?
Oh, and you know I've always dreamed of wearing a real Bobby's helmet.
Big dreamin'.
It does make them look the part. Oh, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on, you certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city, but he'll have a very silly voice no matter what.
Oh, yes. Doesn't he look wonderful?
Yeah. Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes around and rouses all the labourers on his beat so they can get off to work.
What? He wakes people up?
Yep. Raps on the window with the long pole. Did it myself going back a bit.
I had no idea.
The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance.
Whew, I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
Let me see. 20 miles, that's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama.
On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far.
And when it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
Oh my.
And I suppose in between all of those duties, bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well?
And chase after criminals trying to evade the law?
I'm not sure I could call it in between exactly. More alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men killing over from time to time, I admit.
Jeez.
I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do.
Your heavy kokoro.
Happened around 5 in the evening 2 days ago. Just there, on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind.
Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's still being treated in the hospital.
Never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all.
I suppose that means that they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course.
Oh, he means like a noble, like a upper class lady.
Yeah.
Here's a map of the local area. I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want.
Really? Are you sure?
Hey, I'm finished with my fish and chips, and this was the wrapper. It's the odd policy to give lawyers defending suspects the odd bit of information to go on.
I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still.
No,
Thank you,
take it.
Inspector. We gratefully accept.
Local map has been entered into the court record.
Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and the fellow countryman. So who did it, you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it?
Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but...
But just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present.
I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure.
How?
Hidden cameras.
In this time?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed.
What?
We have 2 very reliable witnesses, no less. So there were other people there. It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them.
There were witnesses now? Okay, before that, Matt.
So if there were witnesses, that means there were other people present.
Meerschaum Street, Briar
Well,
Road.
I'm assuming these witnesses heard something but didn't see something.
So they would say.
Who are these witnesses, Inspector?
Hello and his wife. And the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. By that I mean richest. Oh. He's a copper from Scotland Yard.
Yeah,
and
that
you
was...
can always trust a copper.
A policeman? That might change things.
And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked.
Ain't nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby. Catching them banging the act and all that.
Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions?
Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow.
Oh.
Got him.
Dang it.
Got him.
Dang it.
I have no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So, that'll give you something to look forward to.
That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems.
A policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed.
Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh, yeah, so one more thing, Inspector.
Eh? What?
Well,
What's all this then?
the person who led you to the suspect, I hear that was Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
What are you bringing him up for?
Was this something I said? The color is drained from his cheeks.
I'm gonna need more tartar sauce.
More what?
Tartar sauce.
Tartar sauce.
To which the Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not?
Well,
Makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole.
because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean?
There's no way to save that man now. It's a waste of time trying. It is all a bit strange, though.
Sorry?
The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
The only people he usually bothers with are the real scum, the master criminals, the violent ones.
Master criminals?
The violent ones?
That's right. He ain't picks his victims. Only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins.
I wonder if we're gonna see an equivalent to Moriarty in this story. That'd be funny. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely?
That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the one young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. Yeah, who's about to take a bite?
Yeah,
Thought
I
better
saw
of
that. He's like, no, I'm thinking.
No, not a pace myself. So if this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting a Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase.
Well, it's not
You know,
exactly.
because he's a vampire, clearly.
Oh, that's clearly. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it?
Yeah, there's got to be more to it. For some reason, he's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think I can tell what's going on inside? You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? Lord Dracula? I'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial.
We have killed Dracula since the last time that we saw him, so we're fine.
We
got
have.
Yeah. Are we really going to have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he put it?
Wait, what's all this? Hey, you don't belong in this world. Get on out of here.
How about you?
Who did you hear that? That's not the right accent. Who did you hear that name from?
Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings.
I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes's inspirational great deductions.
Also, he taught me law.
No! A faddle!
He didn't teach me law, Susanna did.
Ah!
Man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere.
Oh.
I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of a crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case.
Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he?
He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
It'll gibble gabble.
Ugh!
Ever seen this before?
Oh, yes, that's Ramst magazine.
The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Holmes appears.
Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the odds detectives in its stories. And his so-called great detectives make a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Holmes tale at all.
Well, I suppose there is an element of that.
We'll walk our socks off, every one of us, only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all of our criminals.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector?
Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Yep. That scans. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective.
Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion?
Oh, yes, what is it?
Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this.
By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes?
Yes, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Exactly.
Look at those shining eyes. You can wait, can't you? Can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of this, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in this case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again.
The trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address, even. Ah!
It's Baker Street!
How do you know that?
It's in the stories, of course.
Yep.
221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world.
Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. That might actually be true. The most famous address? Maybe. Maybe. We'd better try to find our way there before Suzato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable.
Hurrah! I'll summon the carriage.
So, we're to have a reunion already. With the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. I'm gonna want to look around first. Yeah. Okay, cool. Snowman!
Snowman. What a delightful snowman.
I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. Looks a little creepy, though.
Oh, it has a scarf, look.
You'd need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one.
I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment, too. We certainly can't afford a scarf.
Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his.
But the person who made the snowman certainly would.
Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. It would melt eventually. This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred. I was looking at the guy.
Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it?
That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding. Ah.
Holmes.
Jay.
Bobby.
That's not Boffleaf, that's Bobleaf.
Yeah, but they're the same.
Bobby.
Same character.
Divergent evolution.
Might as well be.
Oh, what are you foreigners doing here?
Oh, we just investigating the city.
Conspiring with that mustache fellow from Japan, are you?
Conspiring?
Come here to destroy evidence, have you? Get out of here before I give you an Indian.
Item.
And
Iden.
Iden? What's he mean?
I'd be suggesting you go on.
A hiding, as in like hitting you with the his thing with his like a whip
Oh,
and
an
a hide.
Iden.
Okay. Alright.
He shoot us away like rats.
Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think.
What a disappointing experience.
Sorry, Suzato.
Never meet your heroes.
That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons again.
I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, and we have no cause for concern.
Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Twice I found myself in handcuffs, despite not knowing a thing about what was going on.
Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. Does you no favors at all.
Okay. Anything up here? This entire, like, top 2/3 of the screen has nothing. Nothing. Okay. You.
Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush into crime scenes and cart away criminals.
You're very well informed, aren't you?
It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London.
Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows.
But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Wouldn't it?
Oh.
You just want to be a cop.
Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone.
No, wasn't serious. Okay, what's this button? It's this button.
Crimes.
Oh, this looks important.
Oh, a British cycle, look!
So important.
Fire.
The wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore.
Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling.
It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well.
The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like this. But Phoenix rides a bicycle.
Women in pants.
Goodness, do you dislike bicycles?
No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. What? If you'd ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, I know you'd agree with me.
What are you talking about? We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride you around.
That sounds kind of nice. Okay. Yeah, let's go.
He's probably walked on stilts and had a really bad experience with it.
I thought he was gonna say, like, give me a horse any day.
That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history.
Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. Sagging. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here.
We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible.
Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. Okay. This? Nope. Nothing over there. You. Oh, look at the windows of that building there.
Are you sure they're windows?
Yes, but they're all filled with bricks. Uh-oh.
Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where no one lives at the moment.
There's smoke coming out of the chimneys, though.
Oh dear. Everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place.
Okay. Do you see all the black smoke rising from the chimneys over there?
It says here that in Great Britain, many people heat their homes in the winter using coal.
The only chimneys I really remember seeing in Japan were on top of the bathhouse. Do you think some of those houses could be on fire?
Not at all.
Well, even so, that much thick smoke billowing up to the heavens is surely going to turn the sky black sooner or later. Oh.
Gosh, you may be right about that.
Spooky. The clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy.
Well, it is known as Foggy London Town.
I can just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built, though. Oh yeah, look at that.
Aha! Yes, that must be the Crystal Tower, and being built for the great exhibition that's to open in 6 months' time. Apparently, it's going to be very striking, glazed on all sides and the symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition.
It's to be the largest exposition in history, is it? I can't even begin to imagine it. We're probably gonna be there, Ryunosuke, you just wait. I think we're done here. Okay. Oh, okay, there's only 2 spots. Are we done? We might be done. Okay. Holmes! I'm coming for you! Oh, new location. Great, thank you. Boop.
Cutscene!
Oh.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day. Thanks again.
No one comments on the sword.
This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Why are you British?
I've been
It's
wondering
the
that
only
myself.
English
They both
Oh,
learned
you know,
English from British English.
That kind of
All
makes
right.
sense.
All right, fair enough. You win.
I mean, the reason I know American English is because I just learned from pop culture and stuff like that.
America doesn't exist yet.
February.
Oh, shit.
So, this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. Is it as described in the stories, Miss Susato? Susato-san?
Hey guys.
Many famous cases have been solved here, in this very room.
Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I've never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be.
The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog in an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism. Can you feel the heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, I suppose I can, yes.
So, if you don't mind,
Good.
I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a little while longer.
Okay.
Please, don't mind me.
I like how there's like bullet holes in the wall, because that's definitely something that Sholmes would do. She's obsessed.
Is it, with the bullet hole spell VR?
Yeah. That's probably a reference to one of his cases. I don't quite... I'm not that familiar with the stories. Well, it looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me, is anybody home? That's gonna be sad.
Oh, do we have a visitor?
Yep. Tiny.
Oh, no.
Small.
Hello. Is it a big case for Mr. Sholmes?
Hello. Wait. Aren't you...
Oh, how rude of me. I'll go ahead and make a tease at once.
I'm sure it's the same girl. I'm sure of it. Miss Susato, did you see the girl who was just here?
Oh, yes. Isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case.
The king of who? What? What? What?
King Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund von Orstein, of course.
Of course.
I am sure I butchered that.
Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Herlock Sholmes for a moment and look over there.
Hello. The tea's brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well.
Oh, it's you!
I knew it!
Me!
Susato-san recognizes her too.
Ah, there you are. And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial on my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilded's trial in the defendant's antechamber.
I never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Who are you? How to get straight to work when you only just arrived in London?
Oh, yes, it was challenging.
Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know.
Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color?
Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor.
Hooray, it's a winner. I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're to defend the Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck.
Woo.
Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance?
Oh, you know Hurley, do you?
Hurley?
Hurley.
Mr. Sholmes to you, Shirley?
Please don't call me Shirley. Hurley.
Mr. Sholmes is a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see.
I am Shirley, and don't call me serious.
Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas.
Wait a minute.
Oh, sit back down again.
We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all those things, do you think?
And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite?
Oh, silly me! I haven't introduced myself, have I? It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson.
Oh.
I'll live here together with Hurley.
Your dad's dead, isn't he?
Yep. But does she know?
But that's what?
Does she know?
Oh no.
Iris, is it? What a lovely name.
What?
What's the matter?
No, wait. This can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson?
What's the matter with Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? Well, Ryunosuke, you should also have a reaction to this.
Yes, that's right. What are your names?
Oh, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan.
Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. It's wonderful to meet you.
Lovely. Susie and Runo. Got it.
I'm gonna turn you up just a little bit.
How dare you?
I might have also needed to turn Jay up just a little bit. Give me just a moment, chat. Just a moment. Okay, we're good. And, okay, there we go.
Susie?
And Runo? There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her. I just don't know where to start.
Yes, and so do I.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey. Also, your name is Iris and you have pink hair, so there's jokes inbound. Just you wait for them. Just you wait.
Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much.
She mentions Egypt once, she's done.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm so sorry, but we couldn't have been more welcoming.
Though at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us.
You made this, baby!
No!
Thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you?
Oh yes, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. Also, I saw the chat talking to me about how this character's name was Lestrade. I just figured that maybe her father was also around and in the police force. I don't know.
Oh, Ginny! Yes, she's a professional pickpocket.
So we found out.
It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that.
Are you referring to that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption?
Exactly. So I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism on my inventions.
This girl is dangerous.
Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty technician.
Sorry, your technician? Aren't you the technician? Oh.
Hurley, of course, silly.
Hurley?
Yes, Hurley. Herlock Sholmes. We lived here together.
I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter.
Daughter? Not likely.
What?
I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I?
I mean, I figured they were both your fathers.
Well then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes?
I mean, clearly Wilson has to have been mentioned in the stories you've been reading, right?
She
was
probably
also the
knows who Wilson is.
He was the victim in the first case.
Yeah, and that too.
Yeah.
I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner. A roommate.
Your roommates?
Oh my god, they were
Oh my
roommates.
God, they were roommates. I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you?
10 at last this year.
Well, what of your mother and father? Uh-oh.
Oh no. They're not around.
Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. Come on! Come on!
You should know this. Oh, yes. There's something I must ask you.
Of course. Go ahead, Susie.
Please stop calling me that. I'm a very great fan of the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, and
Oh, you have a copy of Rand's magazine.
Can I call you Susan Deltarune instead?
it's not my name!
Can I call you Suzanne?
Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship.
Suzanne it is.
No!
What about Sussy?
No.
That's even worse.
Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world.
My stories? Oh, are you the writer?
Oh.
That's right. Hurley's always solving such amazing cases, you see. And he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It would be such a shame if I was the only one to ever heard of them. Don't you think?
Goodness.
Last night, he was telling me all about the case now he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came.
So you are the author?
Yes. I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call the latest adventure the Speckled Band.
Nice. The Speckled Band? That's certainly very familiar. Is Ryunosuke gonna be in that story? That would be fun.
Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories, here and there. This time, I had the idea of making the venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble.
Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually.
Yes, and of course, I know that the snake might not be a credible fit for the factors in the case exactly, but... it's a story! Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think, don't you?
Are you Sir Conan Arthur Doyle?
So, do you mean to say there are stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in Rand's magazine?
All written by me, yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter.
Could you imagine if Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was just college roommates with Sherlock Holmes?
And they were roommates.
Oh my god. But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson.
Okay, so now you guys can put it together, right? Suzuto-san's getting more and more worked up.
Yes, that's me.
What?
I mean, my name really is Wilson.
But what about the doctor of medicine part?
That's all true too. I'm a doctor of medicine.
No, at 10 years old?
At 10 years old.
Well, that's quite incredible.
But Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman.
Yes. I did alter the setting slightly, for the stories to be more compelling.
Oh.
Her diploma is in crayon.
Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old golden toe.
That's it. That's the series.
I suppose it does. Yes.
Poor Susato-san. She looks like her whole world is just falling apart.
Don't meet your heroes, kids.
I can't believe they aren't piecing it together. Well, about before.
Yes. What's on your mind, Runo? Tell me. Tell me.
Wait, then who was the first victim?
It has to be your father, right? His name was John Wilson. How do we know?
Might be just a random coincidence.
It's a very common name.
You're sure. Well, how did you know that I was a lawyer and that we just arrived in London, I mean?
Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that?
Oh, that's what you mean.
Please, tell us how you did it. Explain every detail.
Of course, I'd be delighted. There's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Iris Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular.
Are we doing this again? Bah!
First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber.
Oh, that's fair. But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How'd you know that?
I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket.
Oh.
So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against a particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs.
The Reaper of the Bailey? I walked right into that one, didn't I?
I also noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet them with a suspect, weren't you? Earlier today.
Ah!
They use those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see?
I didn't realize.
I went to a fair, but I was too young to drink.
And the red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So, Dad told me that even though you had just only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus McGilded, the two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at the local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face. So I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case.
I see.
But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow?
Well, having barely been home for a few hours yesterday, Hurley sold yet another case. It obviously amused him. He told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling.
Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been...
Mr. Natsume.
Now, Runo has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think her outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that both of you came from Japan yourselves. So I put two and two together and decided that you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case.
So clearly she's much better at this than he is.
Yes.
Clearly.
Alright, so
maybe.
can we?
There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley's always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know. He is silly. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct?
They were spot on.
That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction.
You even managed to discern something of Mr. Sholmes' delivery.
Oh, well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that.
Are you sure?
This is really very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please?
Okay. So yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying?
Yes! Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage. But the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene.
Ah, the great detective is a popular man, it seems.
Apparently a woman was stabbed in the quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man running away from the scene.
A short, shifty-looking, stooped man.
Mr. Natsume.
Oh.
Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt.
I think they said it together.
Okay, Soseki-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all, but it seems that there were witnesses after all.
Hurley and his great detective powers to determine the man's address. Used his great. It was a lodging room, very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man shivering in fear.
Ugh, Mr. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark that time.
Of course it did. He's a great detective.
Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it?
Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly.
Hurley says that London is rife with crime.
Oh.
Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently.
Oh dear. I hadn't realized the situation was so dire.
That's why they can't afford to spend too much time on investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person.
That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system.
I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Soseki-san. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative.
Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun.
Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well.
Well... Expert Hurley is still investigating the scene.
Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, Mr. Nuts... Oh, May? Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there.
Iris, do you know where those lodgings are?
Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson when you were there?
Yes, I know Inspector Gregson.
Ah, goody! In that case, give Gregson this from me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know.
What is this?
A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems.
Iris's postcard has been entered into the court record. Okay.
It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem." Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it?
Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try.
Good luck then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back soon.
We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris.
Friends.
Friend.
Friend. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime.
Okay. So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all, we headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand.
Wait, to be continued?
Is it going to be continued? Yeah? Yes? Seems it? Yes.
I guess so.
Weird spot for that, but okay.
We solved the case.
We did it.
Good night,
We did
everybody.
it.
Did it!
Congratulations.
We won!
Congratulations, Sasaki-san!
He is alive.
He is. It's February. It looks as though the police are still here carrying on with their investigation.
Perfect. So, let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible.
Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. There he is. Real quick, can I inspect this?
That is the face of he's not gonna do that.
This is a 5-shilling piece, isn't it? I believe it's called a crown.
Yes, and you can train a Scotland Yard detective to do whatever you want with just a single one.
Iris must be the most powerful 10-year-old in the world.
How much is 5 shillings, by the way? What's it really worth?
Well, it's probably enough to buy all of the chips the inspector could possibly eat in a whole month.
That's greasy.
And tasty.
Sure.
Iris's little handwriting is adorable, isn't it?
Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem.
Yes, the handwriting might be adorable, but the message is ominous. There's no room for sentiment there.
I'm sure it's simply the way you're interpreting it, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I do hope the inspector will tell us what we need to know when he reads it.
You don't think it will just make him munch piping hot chips until steam comes out of his ears, do you?
Well, that wouldn't be an entirely terrible outcome.
We're gonna hand this to him, and he's gonna start sweating like, wait, what do you need to know? What do you need? No. Present. There you go.
I'll have it by the end of the week, I swear.
Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment?
No, I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure.
We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson.
What? For me? For my ladyship?
Her ladyship.
Right here at once. Come on, hand it over, that's for me.
What? Don't wait for me to give it to you, will ya? What was that coin exactly?
It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's, well, it's an appearance fee, that's what it is.
An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean...
That's right. For the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me. Every time.
Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly.
Well, here's my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still.
It's not without your say-so if you're accepting coin for it. I am sorry, Inspector, but that must be very difficult for you.
Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then, eh?
Sorry?
Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go far away, what do you want to know?
Okay.
Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector. We'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings.
The little knife-wielding moustache Japanese fella. He lives in a right old oval. It's just over there, look. Oh. On the first floor of that house on the corner where that wreck of a bicycle's propped up.
That is nearby indeed.
If I remember rightly, the landlord is Mr. John Garrideb. Right, well, if you see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, eh? I mean it. You tell that Gregson sends his very best wishes.
Don't worry, Inspector, we will.
Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship.
Okay. All right.
Lord save our gracious queen.
Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left.
Yes. So then, shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings?
Definitely.
All right. Let's get in there. New location. Thank you.
So he would take 2 bites of fish, then shake it, and it would regrow.
That man in that painting I have seen before, but I don't know why. Okay. It's February.
Moonface.
Hi.
Oh, hi?
May I help you?
Yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Garrideb? Garrideb. Garrideb.
Bedarag?
I don't see it.
What's the pun?
Indeed it would, sir. And may I ask who's calling?
My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here.
Oh.
We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client.
This is another name taken from the Home series. Oh, the Home series, rather. Okay.
Home story. Little smile.
One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garrideb.
We just had something where there was a moon face man. I don't think it was this though. There's something else with a man with a moon face. But I can't remember what it's from. We've seen it in the past 2 days.
Do you mean the Gardic phone?
Gardic phone?
No, it wasn't Gardic phone.
Did you see that, Miss Susato? That was a real-life English maid.
I know! As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better.
It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it?
We only need to meet a butler, and the experience will be complete.
Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment.
Thank you for waiting, Mr. Garrideb. We'll see you now. This way.
Oh, hi. Well, there he is. Okay. Hi.
Oh, hello. Who's gonna be this guy?
Wasn't there in the variety stream, Jada? None of us were in.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, it's me. Of course it is.
It's you.
Good day to you. John Garrideb at your service.
Pleased to meet you,
McDonald's
sir.
saxophone man?
Oh, yeah, it does kind of look like him. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer.
Excuse me for not getting up. Took a shot the near fields back at the Battle of Maiwan, don't you know? In a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Hand over the reins to the up-and-comings.
So he's a retired soldier.
It's a hell of a job getting up and down stairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much as you can imagine.
So, okay, theory. We, our friend, Natsume, whatever his name was, Satsuki, he told us that he did not see any witnesses, but he was witnessed. Maybe they saw him from here, from this window, perhaps?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Also, the painting is definitely of him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs.
You really must take more exercise, Mr. Narukoto.
That's another Phoenix Wright jab. That's good. Do you think so?
Well, Mr. Garradeb, no doubt you are very courageous to earn yourself a medal.
It was nothing. The medal's just a folderol, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan, and let these good people see it properly? Joan, fetch... Oh! Dash it all, woman, be careful!
Oh, dearie me, I do beg your pardon, sir.
Oh, jolly near took the skin off my hands.
I shall be more careful, sir.
So anyway, they'll have it, living the quiet life now.
Yes, I see.
Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right?
Yes, we would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us.
Only too pleased, naturally, especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blighty.
Why did we come to this person? Weren't we looking for Sholmes in this guy's residence? The actual residence?
We're investigating...
What?
Sholmes
I
is
think we
not
did-
around right now.
Yeah, I think
So
we're
we
just
were
wondering...
directed in this direction, which is the place where our defendant lives.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
You read this, yes? Yes.
Yes, we got Blighty.
Don't do that!
No.
That's a bad.
Gives it a smoky flavour, doesn't it?
No.
We've forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were.
Oh, is it?
Excuse me while I drink this shit. Better. Okay. Even have some famous detective poking around, you know, in this old house, would you believe?
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all the detective business. This here's my cup of tea. Lapsang Souchong, don't you know?
And
It's smoked tea.
Oh, but you have a copy of a Ranced magazine here, so...
Oh, no.
Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak.
So he's...
I'm holding it for a friend. It's my cat.
So he's in Soseki-san's room.
Yeah. It's a bloody nuisance, is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
About Mr. Natsume, then, Mr. Garradeb. Please, do tell us.
Yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week.
Oh, just 1 week? So he moved in.
Then.
He moved in very recently, then.
I have two lodgers most of the time. One on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see. Oh, dash it all, Joan. Do be careful.
Oh, my goodness, I'm terribly sorry, sir.
The maid is sus.
If you want to know my opinion,
Well, I don't.
I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. Oh? Why? He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking on and looking over his shoulder. That man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Joan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything.
We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Unless we are.
No. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Yes, oh yes, indeed there was.
And she's dying to tell us.
I'm right here, you know.
Yeah, but I'm talking to her now.
Oh,
Had you noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume?
Oh my word, yes. The man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire.
Maybe he's lonely.
And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed, too.
Oh, I see.
The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning.
Why do you know all this?
She's the maid?
Would you clarify something, I wonder?
Is she his maid too?
I think she just runs the house.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Cleans every room.
Oh.
What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh! I understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct?
That's right, yes. They're both below us, on the first floor and street level.
Then how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times they come back in the evening, for example. Even the times they go to bed.
I'm stuck up here. What else is there to do? Don't do it! Oh! Good grief, Joan. Be more careful, woman.
Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir.
Something doesn't add up here. Okay, let's talk about the incident. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out the window at around that time?
The window?
Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out to Briar Road. The incident took place in the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby?
5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garrideb household, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan?
No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour.
5?
And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road.
Oh, I see.
Water?
It's dusk at 3 here right now.
Well, that's your own fault.
Also February.
Did you
February
notice?
in England, yeah.
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then?
Such as?
Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated.
Well,
Yes, was there something then?
well, it's nothing particularly significant. Turn that sort of time at For the love of God, Joan, watch what you're doing.
Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir.
Do be more careful, woman.
Maybe if you, like, set your teacup aside, and then she could pour it into that and not over you. That'd be good.
Of course, sir.
Then she would just pour it directly into his lap.
If I may, Mr. Narrow Hollow?
Yeah, it's me, yes.
I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all.
Oh, really? Mr. Garrideb? the way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been.
Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter. Oh, don't dash it! Oh, what's the matter with you, woman?
She doesn't want him to say something?
Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened.
Yes, quite. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal, Joan.
That's right, Mr. Garrideb.
Yeah. What's the matter with these two?
It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident. But what?
I wish I knew. More about that. Could you tell us about which, could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on?
Why, certainly. Just below us on the first floor.
And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there, even as we speak.
Yes. Told me Nat's his name. I'd asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key.
Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services.
That doesn't sound right.
That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsume's room, I mean?
Don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs.
Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we?
Yes, and while we're here, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more.
Alright then. But before that...
Let's look at some stuff. In this room.
That looks like a... Oh, what am I doing?
That looks like a Medal of Honor. And it's showcased in a very grand manner.
Yes, it's just...
on a very grand banner, rather.
It's displayed with some pride, I would say. Although it bothers me that it's not straight.
What, that old thing?
Sorry?
Well, I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn his grave if I disposed of it. And the wall's the best place for it. Keeps the bally thing out of my way.
So it's just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose.
There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself. Look. Let me see. It says, "For distinguished participation."
Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for.
People your age and your participation trophies. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. No, can't measure any officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles.
Okay. That portrait of Mr. Garrideb is glaring at me, I swear.
Have you noticed that all of the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garrideb as well?
Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well.
Ah, yes. Seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket.
Seemed to come back? What do you mean?
The chap who runs the place is a bally wizard. Wanted to sell him something and came out with that thing. In point of fact, now I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need.
Good salesman.
The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements.
Susato-san doesn't pull her punches. Or her throws, for that matter. What is thing? What is thing?
Thing?
I've investigated thoroughly, but I can't... Yeah, that's bullshit.
What do you mean? Look at that enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely.
Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view.
Yes, right by the window.
What could it be? What could be behind it, I wonder?
I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek.
Little look-see.
Maybe let's not, Miss Susato. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. Head us off with a cup of tea. Okay.
Look, head him off at the pass.
You doing all right? You want to get that checked out?
We're going to be very good friends.
Oh, look! What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand.
Lined up. It looks like, it looks more like someone has half demolished them to me.
Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English way. It is Mr. Garrideb's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea. That sounds delightful.
Oh, wait a minute though. There are at least, I can't see this right now, there are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand.
Well, naturally. And it would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garrideb does indeed, I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up.
How magnanimous of you. Reveal cakes. Cakes! Alright. Oh,
Yummy.
hi. Wow. What happened on this wall? Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it?
Oh my! A genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shelves seem to be broken, and the crockery is, oh dear, it's in pieces.
It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that Chinaware justice.
Ah, I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it.
I think it would be worse. Yes, probably something like that. But let's not delve too deeply here. No, I wanna ask. I wanna ask about that. That's weird. Okay. Oh, wait. You?
Labra. It's missing a candle.
Oh, yeah.
This old candle holder looks a little out of place here, wouldn't you say?
So obviously that's the long thing that we were trying to look at before.
Hmm.
Yes, you're right. It's clearly supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason.
That old thing, yes. Just a cheap piece of ironmongery. Gimcrack, really.
Oh.
I used it when I was studying, don't you know, for my commission. I know it's old, hardly worth hanging on to really, but, well, it still has its uses sometimes.
Of course.
Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it?
They're memories, Mr. Naruhodo. Memories.
I think he's just a hoarder.
Yeah, that seems about right. Okay. Oh, window,
I think there was something... Huh? This window looks out to Briar Road, where the young woman was attacked.
Oh, yes, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene.
The glass is rather murky, isn't it? Can't see very clearly.
Does this thing open at all, I wonder?
I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir.
Sorry?
As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you.
Seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then. What were you gonna say?
I thought I saw something in the very top right.
Top right. Like this?
Like very, very, very top right.
I think
Oh,
that...
never mind.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The check mark's just not visible.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of surprised I can't look at this, but that's okay.
Yeah.
What about,
It's a candle.
over here? Hello. That's a full-size cannon! What's it doing in here?
How is it doing in here?
Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica.
Oh, that old thing. That's little more than a toy.
Sorry?
The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. You never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house.
Really? It isn't overkill?
Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy.
Okay.
Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Garrideb?
Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Drives them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well on the cannon there, Joan tells me, which rather proves my point, I feel.
It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. This? Yep. That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it?
It's clearly been well looked after, though.
Now, what about war he would have fought in? Oh, that old thing. Peh, not much better than rags, really.
Oh?
Wore that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past, me. Would have it gladly thrown out, but you know how it is. Anyway, it doesn't hurt to have the odd piece of memorabilia lying around, does it?
Oh, I see.
Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. Sword? Nope, no sword. Not that. Not this. Books? Books. I notice you have a pile of books here, Mr. Garridub. Do you enjoy reading?
Experience a London winter, boy. The nights are long. No better way to pass the time than in front of the fire with a jolly good book.
Oh, there's a copy of Ranced magazine here, I see. No doubt Mr. Garrideb enjoys the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, too.
The great detective has a great many followers, it would seem. I just realized I really didn't look around Sholmes' place very much, did I? Oops. Well, I don't think I had
will be back.
I don't think I had an opportunity. Well, maybe I could have stopped talking to Iris and had a look around. That's fine.
You'll probably get another chance.
Yeah. I guess that's it. We're done here. Boy, you had a lot to talk about, dude. You really did. Okay, let's leave.
Yes, quite.
Yes. New location. Yes. Good. Wow.
Wow.
Cat!
Cat! February!
Yeah.
I count 2 cats in this room already. That's great. What?
Oh, behind the text.
I didn't see the real cat. I just saw the other cat.
Oh!
I was confused.
Actual cat. Just look at this place.
Real cat.
And smell it. It's so musty in here. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. Look at that cat. Look at that cat.
I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life.
No, me neither. Oh, it's so dark in here, too.
Is that the window over there?
Well, it was the window, I think, yes, once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives.
By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you?
No, that's true. But according to what Mr. Garrideb told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating.
He's behind that pile of books.
Gonna be. He's on the ceiling.
Gotta be.
Crawling on the ceiling like Spider-Man.
He's behind the cat.
Examine the cat!
He is the cat.
Cat.
Baby.
Cat. Love that cat.
Baby.
Love that cat.
Stretch him.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away.
I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mickey, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Britain?
Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought this little creature with him from Japan.
That's made me feel homesick now.
Already? We've only been in this country for 2 days.
Yeah, but we were on the seas for like a month. Is that right?
Yeah.
Feels like a month and a half you've been here.
Oh, look! It's a beckoning cat from home.
It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that Maneki Neko all the way from Japan with him.
Actually, it's a clock.
Oh, God.
You pull on the hand, it's like, I think it's...
It is 12 p.m., yeah. I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage?
You did what? Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm.
Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same. And this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him.
It's not doing a very good job so far, is it?
You mustn't say such things.
That's why I think them. I didn't say a word. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? Very good. Very good. This appears to be some sort of meter on the wall here. It looks very robust. I wonder what it's for. There's a slot for inserting coins here, too.
What? I believe that is a gas meter, Mr. Naruhodo.
A gas meter?
Yes, it seems there is piped gas in this district, which consumers pay for by putting coins in the meter.
So if we were to put a coin in the slot...
That would be enough gas to use the lights and the gas fire for the whole night.
So if you're too poor to have a coin, you'd have to spend the night in the dark and freezing cold.
That's right. As would a rich man who only carried crisp white notes.
Ugh. London is a scary place. Books. Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reach the ceiling.
They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty.
With this volume of books on hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you?
No, what a dreamy idea.
A bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again.
So reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime. Just as the tea ceremony teaches us.
I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. Bag. No, it's bag. Come on. It stands out.
Come on.
Look at all these balls of paper on the floor. There are notes scrawled all over them, in English. It looks like the waste paper basket is so full they've just fallen out.
I think Mr. Natsume must have been deeply immersed in his research, don't you?
Or deeply averse to tidying up this mess.
Clean your room.
I wouldn't like to speculate which is closer to the truth.
Yes, Abs, clean your room.
Clean your room.
Bug.
As in yours, not mine.
Yeah, but yours.
That desk seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountains of books on either side.
I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit here and read while stroking his cat. Yes. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well.
Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Your books.
Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it, look. And the date of purchase. 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident.
That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books.
Second-hand book receipt has been entered into the court record. Great.
I found the cat.
Could you even call this a window?
I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although all that remains is a frame around some bricks now.
So really it's just a wall then, isn't it? But why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that?
I'm afraid I have no idea.
Maybe the area is dangerous?
Ah! Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design in a fit of whimsy.
That's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes this place very oppressive.
It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying.
Probably. Scanning. Currently scanning for items. Look at... Oh. No, come on.
Nah.
It flashed. It flashed.
No, it
Okay.
didn't.
Okay. You!
Hi.
Do you have more?
Hello.
Anything
I
else?
knew he was just out of frame.
Yeah, he does do this, doesn't he?
Tall. He likes to be
Look,
tall.
Mr. Naruhodo. He likes to be tall.
Aha! There he is! Where did he appear from?
There's the bitch.
He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book.
He seems to be engrossed in the old pages of a book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes?
Oh, you two, good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Burya.
Yes, of course, the Burya. And let me see, what happened on that voyage?
It was Kazuma Asogi. He died tragically. But you were a great help to us.
Yes, but of course, the case of Mr. Asogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it?
Oh.
Well, you seem to remember something of it at least.
What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr.
Oh, no, my dear madam, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Miss Naruhodo and Mr. Susato.
Got it in one.
Close enough.
Well,
You try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. It's the other way.
Of course, Mr. Surato and Miss Naruhodo got it.
I lost the first round.
Yeah.
In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene.
We started this chapter by talking about finding a lodging still, so I'm kind of hoping that we end up at 221 Baker. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes.
So they apprehended Soseki-san in that short of an amount of time.
I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of the past involvements just a little.
A little?
A little. It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls that can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Oh, sure, lucky, I understand. Yes, those are my own words of imitable. Imitable. Wisdom, you know, from an adventure entitled A Study of Scarlet.
Please, there's no need to quote yourself.
I'm gonna. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately, my associate pens them beautifully.
He means Iris, I suppose.
Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned.
Goodness! What an earnest expression. My dear madam, I should be only too pleased, and this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case.
Okay, let's talk. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road.
Natsume. Yes, I believe it was the name. Rather along those lines.
But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little?
I'm sorry, Miss Susato. but I have not the slightest idea what you mean.
What?
I can't believe he was looking Susato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance.
I assure you I am not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear that if the pair of you are under some misapprehension.
Oh? How?
I assure you I have no recollection of accusing your astute compatriot of the crime.
But that doesn't make sense.
The good Detective Scotland Yard made the following request to me, and I quote him verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and the whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene.
Oh, okay. Ah, a man seen fleeing.
There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the case. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from where the books had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to hear this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there is a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question.
So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit, then?
That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties. Yes, my faculties were aggravated. Hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophily.
Bibliophile. Bibliophily. Never mind. I thought I had that one.
I was lost in
Bibliophily.
Bibliophily.
I'm down with the case of the Biblies.
The Bible babbles.
Do not be deceived to believe that I'm a man of leisure. No.
Oh dear.
More.
Tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings?
Yes, Mr. Garadeb, a retired military man.
It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the great British institution, that is the services.
And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the great British institution that is service. I didn't think it was that funny.
I do apologize. As you may be well aware, my many households in London employ a maid.
Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer.
And so conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein.
Betoken their social standing? Sorry?
Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that.
Middle class, jeez.
In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family.
Goodness, how extraordinary.
As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of first importance.
I had no idea.
And it is for precisely that reason that I find myself in great stimulation. Yes. In the situation upstairs. Specifically in the retired Army veteran, Mr. John Garadeb.
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 Go to bed.
Garadeb.
Go to bed. Oh.
Go to bed.
Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain.
I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. Okay.
This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab someone sooner or later.
Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one.
Ah, but sooner or later, as I said.
I don't believe that's the issue here.
About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea?
No window?
Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks.
Ah, I see. The outside is quite simple. Window tax.
Excuse me? Huh? Window tax? What is that?
What?
I don't think he's actually lying about this.
Oh.
Surely not a tax on windows.
Is it about what that guy was saying before, where people would go with sticks and tap on windows?
No, that was to wake up workers so they would get to work on time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Precisely that.
Oh my goodness.
Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country for the number of their windows.
Why?
Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home perhaps, rapidly closed windows up, while the rich opened windows here and there and everywhere. In an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money.
How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light.
I still don't fully get it. Why were they taxing windows?
The idea was the richer you are, the more windows you would have on your house. Therefore, you would tax more from the rich. But in the end, the rich created more houses with windows, which made the poor just have to board them up intentionally.
That's
but
stupid.
Why did the windows constitute a tax? Is it because they let heat out of the house?
It's just a way to display, oh, you have a lot of windows, you have a lot of wealth.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Indeed, disease was rife as a result.
Oh.
For some 40 years or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished.
Oh.
But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example.
I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps.
It would appear so. I've done a little digging and discovered that these lodges were offered at an extraordinarily low price.
Because the room is so awful, I should think.
Apparently, Mr. Nope.
Yes, sir.
Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago.
They all say at the same time?
Yes, that's correct. So we have 6 days before we start stabbing each other. And I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation.
Oh?
Still, that is of little relevance here. A matter not worthy of further examination.
Are you sure? I'm curious now.
Okay, yeah, the chat clarifies, and I read it as well. Apparently, Britain very vividly opposed income tax, and this was a workaround around that.
Huh. Okay.
Huh. Well, I do believe I've told you all that I can now.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of the law?
Yeah, you remembered that, did you?
Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To be the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it?
I'm not sure.
Not sure? On what grounds?
Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday.
Really? Well, then I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized, and so promptly, too.
Well, the thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence?
Yes. Trust.
Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he?
My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea.
Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate?
Yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them.
So you haven't looked into your doubts at all, then? Oh,
no.
I see.
Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite inequitably.
Unequivocally.
Well, that's great. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. And one more thing.
Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us!
I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of any relevance to the case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something.
Mr. Garadeb is? Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he?
Yes. Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in the relation to this case.
Mr. Naruhodo, as yet our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence.
No, you're right.
Inevitably, yes.
Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garadeb's secret.
Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo.
A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Oh, is he actually still there? It doesn't matter. Move. Alright, we're good. I'll go back up to Mr. Garadeb.
Howdo, Mr. Garadeb.
It is February.
Happy February.
Got a date. You Paragon. Tell me, what was the detective chap, I forget his name, still hard at work down there? Hardly working.
Mr. Herlock Sholmes?
Well, yes, rings a vague bell. All the detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid.
And before you go, one more thing. Look down. Ryu sees handcuffs back on. That's good. Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element down there.
Jolly good show.
He said the thing.
Jolly good.
Another cup of tea, if you please, Joan.
This is gonna go great for you.
Now then, why don't you tell me what? For the umpteenth time, woman, will you watch what you're bloody well doing?
I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir.
Well, yes, of course. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave if you'd be so kind.
Oh, yes, of course. We are deeply grateful for all your assistance.
Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like ourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out.
According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garadeb is hiding something. And since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. What, like look around? You want me to look at this again?
Look at the screen.
Nope.
Or, should we talk to him?
Real quick, let me have a look around. What?
Hi.
Okay, well, Jesus. What time is it? It's, we got 5 minutes?
54.
We'll probably do a little talking. Oh, what's he doing over there?
Mr. Sholmes?
We meet again, my dear fellows!
Gracious, when did you sneak in here?
You were too rich to keep me out. You had a window. Herlock Sholmes, sir, at your service.
You gotta give him points for that one.
He climbed along the outside of the building and slipped in through the window.
Spoiler-man.
Whatever were you doing over by the window?
I am given to watching the evening sky at sunsets, madam. Yet sadly cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks the aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here.
Well,
Keeping an eye to one's windows at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering.
And one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh?
One more thing, Mr. Naruhodo.
Me?
I thought perhaps you might be in need of these handcuffs.
Oh, no! No!
Of a certain great detective's great mind.
He just gets into the habit of cuffing Ryunosuke on sight. Wait, he's not talking about... Is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon.
Do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
There is a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo?
I think so.
There is just enough time for one of my greatly admired great deductions. It is only 9:57. Let us conclude the matter before dark. CATV after dark.
Give me a good
I don't think we have to.
Give me an opportunity. Nope, we're stopping there. Nope, that's gonna be it.
All right.
There is most certainly not enough time to do that, Charles.
No way.
No. But we will be back to that soon. It's good to come back to this. I miss this game. This game's good. It is a good video game.
These characters.
This is a good episode too.
Yeah.
Well, what are we doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow is the start of Saps Week.
Saps Week!
Hey!
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We're doing Resident Evil 8.
Resident President.
Resident Evil Village tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
7 p.m.
Look forward to it.
Yeah. Finale?
Most of us will be on holiday.
Finale question mark.
Was this, smoked tea soup, perhaps?
Smoked pea soup.
Yes.
For me, it was painkiller soup.
Painkiller soup? That doesn't sound good.
I forgot that today I was supposed to go to the dentist and get a cavity drill.
You fool! Oh, no! Oh, no.
Went better than I thought.
Feel better, buddy. I hope that you can get that looked at soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're done. We're gonna head out. Is this it? We good? We good?
Yeah, I think so.
We started 2 minutes early, we're ending 2 minutes early.
Yeah, we're doing that. All right, everybody. Thank you all very much for coming to hang out with us, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.